Hello, everyone. My name is Selena Igwe. What? Yeah, Igwe. I want to talk to you today about living on purpose, especially today in 2020. So, as a kid, I was always weird. I mean, I admit it. I have weird thoughts, even now, about things and how things work. Plus, I'm super curious, which can be a good thing and a bad thing, in my opinion. But one thing I used to think about as a child when I stared awkwardly into the sky with thick rimmed glasses and big old braids sticking out of my hair, who the heck am I? Why was I born and why am I here? And I used to apply these same thoughts to everything. Why are my parents my parents? Why am I black? Why am I a girl? Why am I just so weird and a total theater nerd who's far more attracted to musicals and the arts, probably more than I should be? Just why am I Selena? I struggled a lot with my thoughts, especially when I lined them up and compared them to what I was seeing around me. I was constantly trying to fight against myself, wanting to be someone different because I didn't understand my worth, my purpose. And though others had, I thought anyway, that others had higher worth and much better purposes. So I grew up as a church kid, and mind you, I was quite confused the majority of the time. Still, these old church folks used to bring up scripture. And one of the scriptures that they brought up was, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, which I found out later means I was created on purpose for a purpose. And there were no mistakes in the Selena recipe. Furthermore, these church people would add on that God had a plan for me, and it's a good plan. And if I followed it, I would essentially succeed. So anyway, I didn't get it at all. I didn't understand what they were saying. Though they were speaking plain English and there wasn't any tongues involved, I was still totally confused. So instead of believing in what they were saying, I chose for many years to live by my own plans, made up of zero details, and follow my own rules that were made up of zero boundaries. Do you know what they call a river without direction and without boundaries? Yeah, a swamp. It's called a swamp. And I found myself one day in the middle of the most murkiest, dirtiest, stanky, rank, self-made swamp. And I was so deep in it, guys, that I didn't know how the heck to get out. I just knew that I wanted desperately to get out. No, I needed to get out. It was around then that I met God in a very personal way. That story I'll save for another day, but I'll tell you this. Once you meet him for yourself, you'll know without a shadow of doubt that he is real. He is who he says he is, and no one ever can convince you otherwise. I mean it. Anyway, I met God in this very personal way, and nearly immediately, he reminded me that I was made on purpose and that my life had and has a purpose. Okay, so what does all this mean, and why should you care about what I'm saying? I mean, really, you really don't have to. I'm just talking to you. But here's the point. When we think of purpose, oftentimes we think of the future. Well, I mean, at least I do. But the purpose God talks about includes the past and the present. So, all that crap that went down in your past? It has a purpose. It didn't happen to torture you or to hurt you. That's not God. And we'll dive into more of that in another time as well. But your past pains and difficulties, even your past happiness and comforts and great feats, they weren't there for you to trip on or stumble over or, live in pride of. Instead, they were there to be stepped upon. Each one taking you to a new level and giving you a new platform to help you encourage, love, and comfort others. That's right. Your past doesn't have to confine you, nor defy you, but it can define your purpose and define your unique voice, your unique perspective, and a new solution to the problems that even other people are facing and going through. One of the most beautiful lessons I learned in good old ministry school is that God wastes nothing. I'll repeat that because it's so good. God wastes nothing. Nothing that you've ever been through was pointless. No injustice is invalidated. No hurt is ignored. No struggle is without victory. He wastes nothing. So, how do you recognize your purpose? How? How can we do this? Well, we can take a moment. You can do it right now if you want. Take a moment, close your eyes, and go back to your childhood. Just remember the things or the thing that you used to do literally just for fun. And it was simple because you just wanted to. I know for me, it was writing stories and short plays, directing them, and making my poor younger cousins act in them for our family during our get-togethers. It was something I did naturally. It just came out of me. I didn't know it then, but it was those simple passions that they number one, never left me. And they were placed in me for a purpose. Well, for this purpose as well. So what were your passions? Next, think, and I know it's hard and it sucks, it really does, but think about those difficulties, those hardships, and those very, very unfortunate pains that happened to you. But this time, when you think about it, think about what you've learned from them, if you will. All right, I'll get personal so that you can more understand what I'm talking about here. So one of my deepest pains was actually being molested as a child. And I was very young, and that became sort of how I defined affection and love, was through that sort of thing. And it was through sex, and it was through getting that sort of attention. And as I grew up, and it started at a very young age, but as I grew up, each young boy or man that I slept with was yet another disappointment. It was just another added pain, more shame, less care for myself. And I just felt so much more and more and more a feeling of abandonment and recklessness and hurt, really. I became so numb after a while because that's all I could feel was that constant hurt and that constant pain. And no matter what I did, nothing would get it away. But thank God he met me in that dark place, because now on the other side of it, I have the opportunity to know what it's like, to know the mindset, and to know the experience of those who have similar stories as mine. And I can offer an opportunity to exchange those tears of sadness and fear and shame and regret for tears of joy and freedom and love and acceptance. I can take that shame and turn it into an ecstasy of change. And those thoughts of self-hatred, we can turn those into the thoughts of self-worth. So that scar in my life no longer discolors me. It is now more like a sculpture on my skin that became a part of me, and it carries a new perspective, an open mind, and a new pathway to help others find hope that they can enjoy. Or in an unmetaphoric way of saying this, basically, my past gives hope to others. Okay? Past can give hope to others. So yeah, think of those moments as a victor this time. Think of those moments as one who has overcome. Because guess what? You have. You're an overcomer, baby! So yeah, once you have thought about those moments, understand that you can stand on them and use them today. Use those lessons as your your microphones or your megaphones. Stand on the lessons, on the soapboxes, and those soapboxes can be those methods you used as a child that when you were unapologetically you. For example, I don't know, maybe you were a kid that liked to tighten screws around the house. You carried a little screwdriver and you liked to make sure all the screws were tightened. Well, then use that method as a practical way, I don't know, to bring about details in the lessons you've learned. Or, hey, even carpentry, build a unique piece of furniture that encompasses what you want to say, like a sturdy black chair or a solid door that opens in a new way. If you're a weird artist brain like me, you understand what I'm coming at. I don't know, I mean, if you'd like to sing, take those lessons, write them down, and sang your little heart out. If you like to eat sand, hopefully your palate has widened and you can use your lessons as inspirations to make incredible comfort or soul food. You know what I mean? Just use what you have been given. How you are built is the way you can share your purpose. So do it, because that is your purpose too. See, living on purpose, biblically speaking, is never for ourselves. Our purpose is always intertwined with the purposes of others, and especially the purposes and the plans of God. So they are 100% meant to be opened, lived out, and they are meant to be shared, because we all can benefit from one another. So, my friends, to wrap this up, again I say, number 1, you're made on purpose for a purpose. No mistakes are in your recipe. Number 2, there is a plan for you, and it leads to success. That is a promise, a God-given promise. Number 3, nothing is wasted, so use it. Use it like a black grandma's bucket of grease. Take that oil that was put on you amid the heat and the fire of difficulties and make some delicious deep fried chicken and tater tots with it. You know what I mean? Something good will come out of every bad you've experienced. If you haven't seen it yet, just wait and watch. It'll come. So look, live on purpose. Share your unique story to others in the way you naturally operate. That's it. It's simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. You can do it. You got this. Now go on and do your thing. Someone will be watching. Someone will be listening. Because although you may not realize it, You do matter. Your voice matters. Have a great week, y'all. And if you have any questions or if you want to talk about something that matters to you, let me know. I'll talk on it.